I am Scott Al Miller. This is the 1st of November 2020. Welcome to Sheep Guarding a Llama. It is All Saints Day, and the weather is nice. We got up this morning in Houston. It was fall back, so we got an extra hour of sleep. Of course, we went to bed very late, so we don't actually feel like we got an extra hour of sleep, but we don't feel as bad as we would have had we not fallen back. Everybody was pretty tired this morning. Paul got up and got on the road pretty early, so he was heading back to Dallas with Mia probably by 10, I would guess. And by 11, she had thrown up in the car again. She gets so nervous. It's so hard for her, but she's a trooper. So they went up and spent the day there. It took us until the middle of the afternoon before we got the kids out and got the car packed and got on the road. I had to unload the cedar chest with Benny and move a bunch of books and shuffle things around. And it gave the kids the day to hang out, so not a big deal. We had some biscuits and gravy for breakfast. We got to visit more with the family, got to get some more just stuff done there. So it was a good morning, and I'm glad we delayed because the kids have seen everyone so little. So mid-afternoon, we got on the road. We drove up to Spring, where we now have a storage unit. So Dominica and I went up and took care of that. We did all the paperwork, got the storage unit going, got checked into it. The load that we have is tiny, right? But we dropped off some DVDs. We dropped off a giant printer that's been in the way around the house. As silly as that seems, that's gonna help. The thing was like the size of my desk. It's a huge industrial printer, and that's now in the storage unit, and some books and some different things. It's a very small load, but with everyone in the car, what we were gonna do had to get the whole thing started. Now we have keys and a lock and a number and a location, and now I can just put things in the car, drive down, drop it off, drive back. Right? So it's a completely different thing now to be able to do anything with that. And we just had to get past this barrier of getting it. So we have begun. I really hope that I'm thinking around Tuesday that I might make a run down with more storage items, and this time not bring anyone with me, no dogs, no kids, and put all of the seats down, because we have the minivan. It's 3 rows of seats. When we have the dogs, we have to use all 3 of them with the kids, but without them, we can put all of them down. I can even fill the passenger seat with stuff, and then that whole area. And so it's easily 6 times the load that I just did, if not more. And so it can haul quite a bit when we're really putting our minds to it. That would be awesome. We take that much out of our house. We're going to be able to move around and find things and do what needs to be done. So I'm looking forward to getting that process started with large loads and being really efficient. Tried to see Jeremy, but they were not home today, so did not get a chance to see him, even though he lives right by the storage unit. The drive home went pretty well. We stopped at Carl's Jr., as we always do, got some Beyond Burgers. We're very sad that the Carl's Jr.'s in Houston have followed the way of the ones in Dallas and collapsed and gone out of business. So it is only the ones at the Love's Travel Centers that are still open. It's unbelievable how many Carl's Jr.'s have closed, and everyone that we know has been busy. Now, of course, we haven't seen any with COVID for a very long time, so maybe they weren't busy. But back before COVID, they were really busy. And with the Beyond Burgers, they were just constantly packed. So it's very depressing that our favorite fast food restaurant, as soon as it became our favorite, just disappears everywhere. All the ones in Dallas disappeared right before we started trying to go to them. All the ones in Houston disappeared right after we discovered them. They did not give or get a chance to make the Beyond Burger work. Maybe other regions of the country are doing well. I know these are just local franchisees that are folding, but still, and when we go to the ones that like Love's, there's always a wait. Always 24 hours a day. So they're really making it work at those locations. We made the drive, got home. It was pretty much evening by the time we were back. Traffic was terrible. We got to see the Trump train out on 45 being crazy dangerous, holding up traffic, really, really making it clear how they felt about Texans and the American public and economy and people trying to get places. It was no joke, just what a menace they were. Even when they're not doing anything, right? Just blocking the highway and making a mockery of the country. So that was incredibly shameful, and just beyond embarrassing to see Americans behaving that way. But and a bit scary for sure, especially after we had just heard reports of them, harassing people out on the highway, and in the news tomorrow, because I'm recording this on the second. We heard of some of those trains being armed, and a lot of police having to respond to a lot more than just harassment. So we made it home and pretty much had the evening to relax. I did a little bit at my desk, but it was a long day of driving and we were tired, and that was that. So that is Sunday. We are back in Dallas and we'll be here, other than running a load down to storage, until probably Thanksgiving. At this point, we are doing Thanksgiving in Houston. We cannot go to New York, at least in the November timeframe, because obviously to do so we have to drive through a lot of states, which is a bit of a problem right now because of COVID. And New York just last night either implemented or announced that they were implementing significant new restrictions, specifically on people coming from Texas and Utah and a few other places. So that would make any travel for us to New York, which was difficult before, extremely difficult. Who knows how many problems it would create just doing the move and exposing everyone in New York to having been with us in Texas, and just a sprawl of problems. So that is putting a wrench in our plans quite a bit. However, we don't know when the borders are going to open, so we don't know what our plans are exactly. We're just, every month it gets pushed off farther. So at this point, we're still very much just wondering what's going to happen, and what our options will be. That's Sunday. I'll see everybody tomorrow.